There were a couple of years of real headbanging, I guess, because how are you going to persuade people to get involved in this? It's hard work. It's challenging work. It's emotionally draining work. But we did. And working with the Centre for Welfare Reform, where I was a fellow, still am, but the centre doesn't exist anymore. It's now internationally the Citizen Network, and I'm still very involved in that. Working with them and working with our wider range of contacts, we identified a gang of people and approached them in terms of, would you come and work with us? And then we had to work out a structure for doing that. And so among the vast majority of the people that appear as directors on our website are actively engaged in doing the work, and we call them executive directors. And they get paid for the work they do, and they get paid for, if you like, the organisational things and for lack of a better term, the support brokerage that we do around each individual. Of course, the organisation is evolving. They bring between them a range of knowledge and skills that enhance what we had before. We've got the guy who brought local area coordination to the UK, Ralph Broad. We've got Julie Boothroyd, who was probably, in my view, the most innovative director of social services in Wales, on our board, and an active protagonist and provider of support to people in Wales. We have people like Chris Brown, who is probably one of the leading community development people now of the younger generation in this country. And I could carry on. I could just list a load of people. They're all bringing, elements of what I think I brought originally, having been a youth worker, a community worker, social worker, a nurse, and then, if you like, what became described as a social entrepreneur, whatever that is. Because when I got the Social Entrepreneur of the Year award thrown at me in 2003, I actually went to the award ceremony and said, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not a social entrepreneur. I just spend public money better than you do. That's what we're about. And fundamentally, where we're at is now actually not just saying we can help you develop a better life for named individuals, but we're actually saying to the people that approach us, and we're talking about statutory people, we're saying, but we'd rather only do it if you're prepared to work with us on changing the systems that actually contribute to the fact that these people are having terrible time. And that's a hard road to hoe. But if we take the view that I do, which is the one set out by people like David Fleming, that there's an inevitability about there's going to be a time when people are going to have to accept that the system doesn't work and irretrievably doesn't work, then we're in the position where we have, from action research, from practice, we've got a lot to say about how to do it differently. And we work internationally and nationally with others that are working on similar issues around it. Within the Citizen Network, what we've got people that are working on universal basic income as a means to enable people to get back involved in their communities and their family lives, and not to be dependent on, as John puts it, buying their stuff. We have people that are looking at how to get communities back together and taking agency again in terms of what's important for them and important for their lives, and actually fighting back in a democratic way against the centralisation of everything and the marketisation or commodification of the world. I don't think there's anything very different in our world of health and social services from what is happening in the world of water, or the world of power, or the world of transport. Everything went wrong from my perspective in the 1980s and early 90s, when those things were seen as commodities rather than part of the social infrastructure. And the solutions are going to be going back to recognising that as human beings we have thrived and actually to some extent proliferated and wrecked the world because we're really good at cooperating, not because of we compete with each other.